get back to the battle over redistricting here in Texas. All morning we've been explaining how it's not just about political power, it's also raising some serious legal questions about just how far a governor's authority can go.
That's right, among other questions. Now this fight could set a precedent for how executive action interacts with the judicial branch. Here to explain that, Julissa Garza has been covering the story for us throughout the morning. She joins us now in studio to break it all down for us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Julissa, we have been seeing pressure and threats from both the Texas Attorney General and Governor Abbott, but let's talk about legally. Is any of this going to hold any water?
Yeah, that's the really big question, right? We want to know what legal implications are behind this. What can the Texas Attorney General do? What can the governor do? So at the heart of this showdown, it's not just about redrawing political lines. It's about who gets to decide what happens next. And as I mentioned, whether the governor or Attorney General can legally vacate the seats or trigger special elections. Attorney General Ken Paxton said if Democrats don't return by tomorrow, he'll seek court rulings to vacate their seats and trigger those special elections to replace them. And Governor Greg Abbott isn't backing down either. He went on a podcast yesterday saying the FBI is now involved to track down the Democrats who fled the state to break quorum. That's something Senator John Cornyn just confirmed moments ago. He also gave the Texas Supreme Court until this evening to make a decision on whether he can remove those Democrats from their seats. So I asked our political expert if the governor can really do that.
The process now doesn't give the governor unilateral power to be able to declare a seat to be absent, which means that there's no legal authority to be able to declare an election in that seat. This is something that the courts would have to do. The courts have handled this with very strict scrutiny. They've looked at the eligibility requirements and have determined that unless it doesn't meet some constitutional standard, like the person has passed away or they're incapacitated, then they're still in office in a technical sense.
So that means the governor and attorney general can ask the courts to declare seats vacant, but that doesn't mean the courts will take up the case or rule in their favor. And even if the court does side with them, political experts say it would take weeks and the process would likely need to go district by district before a special election could actually be called. So really, the bottom line here is there is no clear-cut legal path for the governor to immediately force these lawmakers out. And the courts have been reluctant to insert themselves, which is something we've seen in the past. And the legal argument that not showing up to work means a seat is vacant has never really held up in Texas.
One of the interesting things that this brings up for me, and you're alluding to all this, is that this is testing the limits of a lot of what happens. What can the president do? Because he talked about the FBI go in, and then what can the governor do, and what can they do, and it's an interesting test of all of that. Even though it's happened, but it's been a long time.
Right, exactly. More questions as it all unfolds.
So is there any other path for the Attorney General, for the governor, to get where they want to and get what they're pushing for?
So in short, yes, but it would be a really long process. So our political expert says the Attorney General could try to go district by district, asking individual judges to declare those seats vacant. But if a judge agrees, then yes, a special election could be triggered. But if they don't, this would likely land back with the Texas Supreme Court. And even though they'd likely expedite a case like this, it could still take weeks to sort out, all while these Democrats remain out of state. So we're really just going to have to see what legal moves they decide to play and what really works out. But when we talk to our political experts, they say a lot of this is just messaging from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, posturing on both sides. Yeah, I think he called it a chicken fight.
That's
at
right.
some point.
Yeah, it really is.
Like it.
A lot of back and forth, but we'll keep tracking it as it all unfolds.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Julissa. Now, Governor Abbott says if the Democrats do not return by the end of the special session in 18 days or so, he'll keep calling more sessions until the new maps get approved. We'll be sure to keep you posted, as we said.